So this is the David Julius Show, because when you don't show up, you don't get... Oh!
I figured you'd see all my posts last night and know I had insomnia.
Insomnia. The David Julius Show featuring Poppa Dave.
Star.
Featuring Best Supporting Actor in a Non-Supporting Role.
Supporting. That would be you.
So, the topic today is, you think you're doing enough. You're not.
Oh, I'm in on that.
So we're going to talk about, after we have our partners in here, we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule in real estate is really the 93/7 rule. What are the 93% doing wrong? We're going to talk about the J-curve conversation. Why do you make the face?
I like making faces.
My God. You come in late and you break chops. And today we're also featuring Roy Weiner with North American Title. His phone number and email are included, as well as Bettina.mcgowan, who is the drug dealer of home warranty. She got something for everybody. Is that inappropriate?
Yes.
Yeah. I always go right over the line a little bit. You know what I mean?
How about the multiple warranty lady?
No, but she's slinging. She's slinging.
Yeah, all right.
All right, whatever. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. If we have time. So a couple things, really quick, just because we don't want to jump right in. We want to make this interesting. It's a little book report. It's Bella Fagora. It's more towards women, but I loved it anyway. I don't know what that says about me.
It says that you hashtag me too. It's very good.
Hashtag, and you said I'm inappropriate?
That is inappropriate.
So, a couple of things. Just a really interesting book about a woman who lives in Florence for a year and starts like seeing the meaning of life, which just the Italian way, about connecting and slowing down and whatnot. It's really good. So one thing that I'm also going to be starting is lessons from Ella, my daughter. And if you remember the Harry Potter story I told you with? I've told you guys before. Well, Ella does this thing that drives Angie and I insane.
And not me.
She hugs everybody. She's a hugger, and I love the fact that she's a hugger, but she hugs people like who are a little like
she gives her love.
And
she gives her love unconditionally.
And she says it all the time. She's like, they need a hug, Daddy, and I'm like, well, does it make you feel good? Well, anyway, one of the kind of like commandments in the back of this book, which it's a great book in general, which I'll be talking more about in my Making Sense comment, but I just want to throw this in here, is that we need as humans minimum 10 hugs a day. 10.
And I'm collecting.
You want one? You want one now?
Not on screen.
Right now?
He
wants one so bad, but he doesn't want to get it.
Not on screen.
10 hugs. So if you see me and I give you a hug, it's not a hashtag me too. It's just a genuine hug. So,
and it's a good hug. I don't want a cheesy.
Belly to belly.
Yeah.
Belly to belly.
Good.
No, but belly to belly means that you're coming in close. It's not
good,
one of those like
hug.
ass out hugs, right?
Right.
So that was something. Also, you know what I was thinking about this morning? I was listening to this song, and it was something like, well, if you find us, come to LA, and if you find us, great, we're going to be here. And I was thinking, back in the day, before phones, you said you're going to meet somebody somewhere, and you didn't necessarily meet them, right? Because if they had left, there was no way to contact them. Remember that?
Pager.
No, before pagers. And you know, I feel like we're missing...
Payphone?
Payphone, yes, but how do you have the number? And you got to
wait
borrow somebody's phone. But I was like, you know how many moments and opportunities... Like, I remember going to clubs and, like, meaning to meet people there. And while I was waiting, met so many people. You know what I mean? Like, you know how people would be waiting around and you're forced to talk to each other and whatever? That doesn't happen anymore. Anyway, just something... Because I believe how important connection is, and that's part of this book.
And I agree with connection, and I don't think you should be forced. But what am I accused of? I speak to people in the supermarket, in the elevator.
That's part of your charm.
That's who I am, and you always connect, and you find something in common.
And the Italians, they're not down on the floors. You know, you also get jowls from looking down at your phone too much. Interesting.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was from getting fat.
Well, old age also helps. And then lastly, I was getting a coffee at Leone Cafe, and the guy who runs the place, he cut his hair short. It looks good. He's always working, just a hard worker. I'm like, you gotta take some days off, bro. I'm like, your hair looks good. He goes, I'm going bald. And I'm like, who cares? And he goes, what about you? When'd you lose your hair? And I said, I don't know, 24, 25, I started going, right? And he goes, what about your dad? When did you about the same time, right? You started
No,
losing?
I was older than you.
That's bullshit, you know.
We held it longer in my generation.
Because you
we
had that,
those little bit of a hairspray.
yeah, but when did it start going back?
Probably about 25, 26.
Exactly, same thing. I bleached it for a couple of years. So he's like, oh, maybe I'll get the plugs. And I'm like, no. I was like, go for it. You're a good looking guy. He goes, what do you mean? I go, listen. I go, when you got a great picture, you need no frame, baby. And he started laughing. So those are a couple little takeaways that just goes around in my crazy head. Some interesting stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, so with that, let's move forward. We're going to go with speaking about hard workers, we're going to go with the hardest working dude in this business.
Me.
My wife's, you see, you got to love Ann. She's getting a little thing and then runs. Come on in, Roy. La Bella Figura.
La Bella Figura.
Do you know what? There's so much Italian in here. You know what a nap? You know what a nap is called in Italian?
Where am I sitting? Right here?
Right here.
What?
Pissolino.
Pissolino.
It's like, it almost looks like a little nap, but Pissolino.
Your Pissolino. Okay, so having insomnia last night, which I did, one of our agents posted 20 Jewish words and what they mean.
Okay.
So I said, oh, here's something
I saw
to
that
do.
this morning.
And I took the
That was
test.
at 5 a.m. That wasn't in the middle of the night.
Well, 5 a.m. for me is the middle of the night. And what did I do? I got 100%. You know why?
Because I'm 20% Jewish.
I was raised in New York.
Yeah.
New York.
What were some of the words?
There were, everything.
Like oy vey or...
No, like schmuck, schmutz.
Schmutz. I said that the other day. You always have a little schmutz in your food.
Yeah, so the point of the fact is, why did I get 100? Because I was raised in New York. We were multicultural. Everybody accepted everybody, and that's the way we live.
True.
And we need more of that now.
Well, it's like the
That's
23andMe
something
we talked about a couple weeks ago. Unbelievably, I thought I was Russian. I'm 20% Ashkenazi Jewish and
Right.
5% African American, which I always
Right.
kind of knew. But yeah, I agree.
So
But you're more.
why I
I may be
passed
20%, but you're more Jewish than me. In
of
a way.
course, because I was raised, it's
Yeah.
part of my culture.
Yeah.
I'm more Jewish than both of you.
I know you are.
You're more than 20%.
Oh, Ashkenazi, yeah.
You're
So the
true
point I'm saying is this: if we have culture like that and we accept culture and everybody joins, and maybe a little more love, a little more kindness, a little less hate, we will be a better society. We will be better.
You know, we're not gonna talk about this now, but when I get to the J curve, a lot of that's gonna be in there about vulnerability and certainty. We're gonna talk about that. There's a little coaching session today too. But before that, I like that little lessons from Papi. All right,
It's the way
It's
it
nice.
is.
we're talking about this. I couldn't have planned this better. The theme today is you think you're doing enough, you are not. So we're talking about just doing work, right? Hard work. And Roy has been with us as himself as an entity, right?
Yes, for quite some time.
From a previous title company, now with North American, as an agent from day one, right? And what Roy beats out everybody with, which I could say, you and I could say there's no doubt, is willing to do the work. He outworks everybody, right?
Mhm.
Well, you don't get the result unless you want to do the work. And it's funny that we're talking about this subject. We're knocking on November. It's unbelievable. And I've been through this with you gentlemen
Yeah.
year after year. And about this time, maybe even a month earlier, everyone starts talking about what we're going to do next year. And it seems to be that we talk about it all the way until next year. And then next year turns into this year. We never add the few simple things. There's no magic pill. You know, you tell everybody this, or everybody would be doing it. But there are certain things that everybody knows works, and they have to implement them into their program. I'll give you an example. The other day I was taking some continuing ed, and I got a call from an agent. We won't say who the agent is, but it's an Urban Nest agent. And it said, hey, I'm opening up escrow at North American with Jackie Martinez. Yay! So I texted her back and I said, I'm taking continuing ed, and we laughed about it. Said, how exciting. But when I was walking around in the continuing, after, the break, I saw this sign. sold and we can sell yours too. And I remember, I used to hang these signs when I was listing properties. So I thought it would be nice because she was excited to buy her a sign, and on my way home, hang it on the house for her. So I did. And she called me 3 days later and told me three doors down, the lady listed her house, went out with me, bought a $600,000 house, and just listed her house for $340,000. So that's a simple thing anybody can do.
Old school, Roy. Old school.
You can hang 100 of these and never get one. But I hung one, and she got $1 million worth of real estate done. So the bottom line is, people get comfortable. If you're comfortable and you're not looking to grow your business, do what you did last year. But if you're looking to grow your business, sometimes, if your favorite escrow officer moved title companies or went out of the business, you wouldn't stop selling real estate. So, and if I told you I'd write you a check for $20,000 or $30,000 if you gave me your next escrow, you'd probably say, okay, I'll try it. So my point being is, if you're dealing with someone that's not helping you grow your business, you got the wrong tilt on next year. Call me, I can help you. These are cards that we made specifically for Urban Nest agents. Be happy to make them for you. The cost is $400 for 5,000 cards to you. That's 8 cents each. And I can show you how to make these cards turn into listings for you. Just give me a holler, and we need to go. There's nothing that's brand new. Technology is technology, and I'm not inventing technology. You have to put the technology to work. You have the most active brokers in staying on top of technology, and I meet them all that are in the industry. They offer you some unbelievable tools that you don't use all the time. You should have your cloud CMA on your taglines, on your websites, on your telephones, on your emails. I see that it goes undone, and it's paid for you. Take advantage of it. Call me up. I will sit down with you. We'll go over it in a half hour's time. You'll know if there's something I have to offer you or not.
I couldn't have asked for a better, I should have probably told you, this is everybody, not just Urban Nest that we're talking to, but you're doing an amazing job. You're almost doing like an ad for us. What he's talking about is Cloud CMA is what we pay for all of our agents at Urban Nest. But Roy's right. I was thinking about this morning when I was talking about this, you aren't doing enough. I was like, there are some people that if they had a $5,000 a month budget to buy business, would still not be able to be successful. Because you could spend all the money in the world, you could have every door open for you, but you got to do the work.
Gotta walk through the door.
You gotta do it.
You gotta know it. And I can help with all of it.
And he can. And a lot of people talk a big game and then they don't follow through. Roy is, sometimes I have to say, Roy, did you really do that for the agent? You're doing too much. Because he just goes above and beyond as a resource for you guys. And reps are great. There's some great reps for companies across the board. But usually a rep is only as good as the people that they're selling, the escrow officers. Roy's got some good escrow officers, but that being said, he is just as resourceful. He's just as important to the process as the escrow officer. But
Well, I appreciate that
we
very
really
much.
appreciate what you do.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. We appreciate you coming.
All right, good deal.
And if you were here, Nest Agents, there's some there's a bagel in the back if you want one. There's some bagels.
I'm not fat enough, thank you.
You know what I love the smell of, like, toast burning. Not burning, but being toast.
Crisping, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I think it
permeating the whole
I think
office.
it brings you back to new memories of your wonderful childhood and me baking for you. Pudding
You
fish.
mean me walking to the bagel shop around the corner and reading Newsday
And how great exercise did you
it
get?
was wonderful. I loved it. I walked everywhere. You know what's interesting? You find lessons, again, with the theme of lessons from the most unlikeliest sources. Roy is old school, but there is something that, I don't want to say this generation because that's unfair to generations, but this society, maybe 2018, it's all about the hack and the quickest, most efficient way, and people just forgetting to just do the work. And I mean, one sign, I wouldn't say that a business plan, but that's a complimentary thing that doesn't hurt and takes so little time that can put money in your pocket.
And the backup to that is Sherry Beasley listed a house
That was her.
It was her.
It was her.
Okay.
That's who he was talking about. And you know what I call it? It's like you're compounding yourself. Like everyone knows compound interest. If you don't know how powerful compound interest is, I think it was Ben Franklin said it's one of them, like the 8th wonder of the world.
Boy, are you old.
I read.
I know you do.
I read. Did you see the picture of my books the other day? I opened up all my books.
Did you see my garage with 4 bookcases of books in it?
Yeah, but yours are like
doesn't matter what
popcorn books.
Listen, doesn't matter what you read as long as you read.
All right, I'm with you. You're right.
How do you spell milk toast? Does anyone know?
Milk and toast?
No, he's a milk toast, meaning someone.
Milk and toast.
Yeah, how do you spell? No.
It isn't. What?
MILQUETO.
Get out of here, really?
Where did I learn that?
You should be on Jeopardy.
Reading a book.
You learned that from...
I was reading a mystery book. And
they made me lose my train of thought. Oh, compound interest. You gotta compound yourself.
Don't touch me. It doesn't count as a
So compound. Seriously. So what Roy's talking about, and what we're going to talk about more, is the little things compound. So you continue to do the work, and you add a sign, you add an open house, you
do the postcards, do the flyers,
to your phone call, your database, to geotagging locations on Instagram, to targeting Facebook ads. You could have it both.
Geotagging on Instagram.
I know that it's not meant for you to.
I think that's another class.
It is, but I'm saying is.
Aren't we teaching that class?
We're putting together that class.
Okay.
We got Zach and Christy working on it.
She already did it.
I know she did the outline because again we're ADDing big time today, but we're going to talk about that too. So it's so important to invest in your people. Invest in the people around you. So one of the things that my father and I learned it from him, whether he realizes that he does it, and one of the beauties of you is you're a natural, and you don't realize you're doing it, is you invest in your relationships and the people. Something that I learned from him, and I was taught by one of my mentors, he actually verbalized it, right? He put it into words. And like the person on the other side of the camera here, Danny, like investing in people. Like Danny started as our TC, and now she's the director of operations. Almost tripled her income, right? I mean, so you have to invest in your people. And same thing with our agents. Like you don't just show them and help them how to become great realtors. You see them, they have talents. They all have something like a voice or a talent that needs to be shared. And we empower them and teach and show them to like double down on that and share it with everybody else. So that being said, Zach Schilling and what's Kristen's last name? Christy Riffle. Their Instagram game is Christy's is on point, and I was like, I think you should be showing everybody how you do this. Put together a class. So if Zach and Christy are watching it, I just kind of put you on blast. But I can't wait because you got to expand, right? You're like, yeah.
I'll go to that class just to learn everything they're talking about.
And that's what I love about you. You fight it, but at the end of the day, you're willing to learn.
It keeps the brain going and getting sediment in it.
Sediment, like
in my brain.
Sediment, I like that, and that's what the video poker's for too, right?
Yes.
What's the most youthful they've said you are in the dark at the video poker machine? They say how old are you?
One said 49.
49.
They needed glasses, yeah. But usually it's like 43. It depends on the shade of my beard that day.
Yeah, today it's more like 55. Yeah, because it's
maybe
a
60.
little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
All right, with that, let's bring in our next victim, Miss Bettina. So Bettina.
Yes.
I just called you the drug dealer of home warranties.
Yeah, I corrected them.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, I corrected them. I did.
Why did you?
Because you got something to offer everybody. You got a plethora of products. You know what I mean?
Well, we do.
You get a fix.
And we have a new company.
Oh, a new company.
That's right. And Byrne's going to put it on Facebook, I guess, the new logo.
Is it all of them together or?
It's
Yes.
the umbrella.
It's the umbrella.
So,
Okay.
a lot of people, good morning everyone.
This is Bettina.mcgowan with AHS, Landmark, and OneGuard.
OneGuard.
Which, whatever you're buying, she's selling. That should
Powered by
That should be her
front
new
door.
Yes, so,
be. Oh, really?
Yes.
Front door,
yeah,
huh?
so,
Yeah, not a real estate company.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
yeah, it's a home services company.
Yeah.
Is really what the premise is. So, a lot of you may or may not know that we were owned by ServiceMaster for
Right.
decades.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and ServiceMaster had Mary Maids and Terminex and a whole bunch of companies that didn't have anything to do with real estate, and it was hard to get things done, quite frankly,
Yeah.
in a company like that. If they had problems, we had problems.
Yeah.
If we tried to get something approved, we were talking to people who didn't understand warranty or real estate. So we have spun off as our own company. The name of the company is Front Door.
So subsidiary, kind of?
It's a parent company,
Okay.
and we're traded on NASDAQ as of 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Had a good showing. Our new president's name is Rex Tibbins. You can Google him. He most recently was with Lyft, and he as
Oh,
a
wow.
COO, and he did a great job getting Lyft competitive with Uber.
Yeah.
It's big time. I like Lyft better personally.
Lyft has it going on, and Uber went through some tough things, but
Right.
that's a great resume for
Yeah.
sure.
And then our new senior VP, that's even more recent, he came from Samsung.
Oh wow.
So what this is going to mean long term is a whole bunch of focus on the technology that's going to drive better service. And
So the home warranty vendors are gonna come in a Lyft, and they're just gonna fix the.
And they're gonna watch TV in the vehicle.
No, they're gonna have a little Samsung.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
But it's super exciting.
Yeah.
All 4 companies have moved over. So
Nice.
I like to mention that because HSA is not being sold in this market,
But
But
it's
it's
mostly-
still
but it's still a product.
And if anyone's, they're probably weeding this stuff out. But if anyone has HSA, they still reach out to you.
Of course, if they have
Okay.
issues, of course. I don't represent that company, but I have a service team that does.
You have the
Yeah,
pathway.
and I don't know if they still do unless they renewed through mail or because the
They
one.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they get the renewals.
renewal. Because
Yeah.
selling it live, I don't think it's been sold here
No,
for over a year.
that's
But-
correct.
So you got some energy infused into the whole company, and maybe there's a difference between like legacy corporate and new age corporate. And
Yes.
I mean, I just kind of made that up myself. Legacy corporate, I always look at it as like the complacent, resting on your name, and the new age is more like innovative and
Correct.
ready to take some chances and risks and things like that, and kind of just see where you could take it.
Yeah, and I'm from Silicon Valley, and I worked for high-tech companies
Oh, that's
for
right,
a
yeah.
couple of decades, and so I am really comfortable with that. And what
Yeah.
I know about working for that type of a company is that they move quickly, and traditional home warranty does not.
Yeah.
And if they make a mistake or they think they need to go a different direction, they just do it. And we will be nimble enough now to do that. So again, I think it's going to be going into next year where we're going to see a lot of changes. We'll add, if we don't add companies, we're going to add partnerships with security companies would be one, TV mounting.
Something
Utility-
as simple as
utility
that. You know how hard it
utility
is to
go-
get someone to come freaking
Mount
mount
a
a TV.
TV.
I know.
Pain in the ass, right?
Well, and if all your buyers and anyone who had a policy could get that
Yeah.
for the service fee,
That's kind of like a page out of the book of OneGuard, right? Because
It
they
is.
offered a lot of stuff, like some extracurricular things like that.
yeah, the problem with OneGuard and this market, Arizona's different, is that it doesn't have the traction. See, American Home Shield is so large
Yeah.
that when we start bringing all these services in, all 4 of our brands will benefit because we will have more to offer the contractor.
Yeah.
If you're
You're
only
gonna scale. You're gonna scale the services.
That's right.
Without a doubt. That
So
makes sense.
it's exciting. I'm excited. Stay tuned. I think every month I'll have something new to say about it, and I think they're now just in the evaluation period. This is my 3rd spinoff
Yeah.
in my life, so I'm really clear about how,
Well, listen,
how it comes down.
there's a ton of room for improvement in almost all segments of our industry.
Correct.
Home warranty being
Big
right at there at the top,
Yeah.
right? Because, I joke with all of you guys that have represented home warranty companies, you're only as good as the people who come out to fix things, which takes a lot of power out of your hands. Like, you could sell it so good, you could answer your phone, which you do fantastically. What you'll see, kind of a reoccurring thing with us, is the people we're with are so available and so willing to jump in and help. Like, do we just end up picking, we attract that, or we end up, we expect
I think
that
with the home warranty company, you say as good as the vendors, I say as good as the people that own them, and we're out to the general public, so I'm gonna make this statement. The agent then goes to Bettina, everyone's gonna make mistakes, especially in home warranty. That's what erasers are for. But if you call Bettina, she could correct that mistake.
If it's within the contract.
Oh, of course.
And
I'm
that's
not
where
saying that my roof caved in because a golf ball hit it. Do I have a warranty to fix the glass and the hole in the roof? Of course I don't, and I know they call for that. But what I'm saying is a lot of people will have a vendor, like Dave said, come out, and it may not be going the way they think.
Correct.
It can't be done as a secret. It has to be called to you.
Correct.
So that you have a chance to make if someone does something wrong.
Yeah, because I can
Right.
get a second opinion.
Right.
I have lots of tools, and I have a direct service team that works with me
Right.
that I pass it off to.
So, anyone can do the business when it's easy and when nothing's going wrong. That, to me, is like a given. I believe that you got to look at the issues as an opportunity, because that is what sets you apart from the rest. When things are going smooth, whatever, a monkey can do it, right? It's when, not if, but when things go wrong. And like she said, like he said, she can't make miracles happen all the time, but she's going to do everything she can. I'm just...
Bless you.
This is true. Wow. The room just shook.
I was holding it in for so long, it was like a...
Yeah.
It was
My
like
hair blew when that.
Yes, exactly. Maybe these blew right here. Peter Gallagher.
Peter Gallagher. He's showing us.
Ah.
Half you people out there aren't even gonna know who Peter Gallagher is.
Peter Gallagher, woo! Angie said
Albert Einstein.
Yeah. So, we're super excited for you. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I think that's a positive change, regardless of how much they innovate, regardless of how efficient they make the processes. At the end of the day, though, it's still going to matter on who's on the front line and the actual human being, who's the person. And
Yeah,
we're
and I
glad that's
I
you.
do my best, and I like to think that I win more than I lose. There are sometimes the contract is the contract,
Of course.
and there's only so much we can do, but I do
Yeah.
my best. So.
You would just want to know that you're there to help.
Yeah.
All right, I got my
So-
two hug. Oh, you got
Okay,
more?
yeah, I got
Oh,
two things. Just real quick, I am doing a lunch and learn tomorrow.
Okay.
So I will start off by answering any questions about front door.
Okay.
So come if you'd like to talk about that. I also am going to talk about a toolkit that we have. We have an online site that agents can go to. We can't print for them, but we can, if they provide their email and photo, we can do all sorts of flyers,
Okay.
checklists, all sorts of fun things. So come to that if you're interested in that. And I also have buyer packets. They're pre-assembled. They're in the kitchen in the middle drawer if you pull it out. This is for AHS, American Home Shield. And it's a nice little buyer packet if once your buyer is about ready to close. It has a congratulations letter, a magnet. It has the actual brochure,
So they don't call you for the number.
the contract. It has ways to order service, my favorite one. And it also talks about outside authorizations, cash in lieu, and second opinions. These are things that buyers don't even know they have. And sometimes when you call a call center, they're not going to explain that to them. Information about Rekey and Roof RX, because everyone has 60 days after close of escrow to change their policy or get an American Home Shield policy, and a nice maintenance guide. So this is a super nice pre-assembled package. If you've got a closing with American Home Shield, just walk back there, pick it up, and I will always make sure that they're available.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very nice. I like your nails today. Very
Yes,
glittery.
Very, very Vegas, right?
Very good.
For the ladies out there, I'm doing SNS, which is it's dipping. You don't go into the lights, which is bad for you. So if you get your nails done, ask for SNS. It's a great product because my nails are much stronger and
Gotcha.
She said S&S, not.
I know. I didn't say a word. I was like, I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm not going there. S&S.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta get my third hug in today.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'm
All right.
taking the rest.
No, it's not 10 hugs with the same person. I guess it could be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Let's see what else they have in here. No, let's jump into this. All right, so we're 30 minutes in, which is good because now I could say jump in at the 30-minute mark if you want to get right into the meat.
Yes.
Right into the meat.
Yes.
So we're going to use this, but I did make sure that we had our September statistics up. I did,
Oh God, here we go.
So even though we do a Dave Show for everybody, and a lot of the times I'll do my Making Sense Commons and other videos for the general public, but a lot of it we just do for the Nest, right? So we have an inner office thing called Nest Connect, and this is what I went over. So the debate about buyers and sellers continues.
I
Buyers,
see
market,
I
sellers,
crossed
market.
this out and you wrote it in again.
So I met with, I should talk about this. I met
Yes.
with the Southern Nevada Home Builders Association yesterday as a rep for GLVAR. And I said, you got me in here as an owner of a company and as a representative
of the executive committee
of the
yeah.
association. So we had some talks. It's interesting getting their point of view. I think the builders get a bad rap sometimes. Oh, I take it back. They're just like realtors. Some of them deserve a bad rap, just like some realtors do. But the overwhelming majority of them care and are doing the right thing
I
from
think
every
that,
angle.
that point is well spoken. I think that it's more communication.
Without a doubt.
And if they communicated with us what our issues are and what their issues are with us, we would get a lot more done. But they're a little bit on a separate island, and that separate island makes sometimes a very hostile environment.
Without a doubt. And that comes down to connecting and communication, what we're doing right here. I mean, so we talked a lot about doing some events together, and I said, listen, I think it's smart to do a class, because they were talking, should we do a class? And I told them that we do a class here, where we go through the contract, what to look for, because it's very different traditional in building, right? Like in traditional, you can get out of a deal and get your money back. You can't with a builder, and this is
that's part of our issue.
part of the reasons why you should use a realtor, right?
Right.
And then we were talking about the trades, which in regular speak means the quality of the craftsmanship.
Can I throw a few points, good and bad?
You could jump right in. I mean,
Okay,
it is
so-
the David Julius featuring Poppa Dave show.
Dave and Dave show. Poppa Dave, I feel like a Smurf for those of you who know. But
Can we please make you
Papa
Papa Smurf for Halloween?
And that goes to Zeem and Sarah Jessa, who gave me that name, Poppa Dave. But there's a few things bad on either way. On brokers' ends with builders, we have a builders seminar where they all come in. Expo. We tell them what's going on. They speak about their product. All great. We don't charge them anything. They complain.
Some companies charge builders to go into their office. We refuse to do that.
The reason we would never charge is it's an added benefit to our agents, and we have never charged and never will charge as long as Urban Nest is here, because that's an unfair charge and it makes your agents at a disadvantage not to know the specials and what's going on. Kudos to the builder on that. On the negative to it, we had a buyer that bought a house and had a home inspection, and the home inspection went bad and they wanted to get their earnest back. And of course, they're not giving their earnest back. They sold the house in a day, didn't correct it.
For the general public, earnest money is that $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 you put to hold the house. A lot of people don't know that money is non-refundable after a certain point. It's usually pretty quick, like 7 days.
Yes, there's many different details to the builder's contract and the realtor's
It
contract.
requires you to do something.
So
Read.
the realtor is the one that's supposed to protect you on that. But in the interim, I called the general manager of that company 4 times.
Yeah, we're not gonna put them on blast.
We're
not gonna put them on blast.
No.
although we should, but we're not. Gonna.
I don't have a problem with it.
I know, but let's try to make it work first.
The point is this company, general manager that handles the relationships, has never called us back. That is unacceptable, And if we have issues with selling in this company, I will tell you right now, you're in trouble. Because if you won't call a broker back saying, I'm trying to work something out before we go to an arbitration, it's just not the right thing.
So you know me, I pull no punches, right? I mean, I let them have it. I said, as much as we want to work together, if you're going to be in our office, in the association, which I believe we should be co-doing things together, but you're going to have to be willing to take some of the hits, because no one's perfect, but there's going to be some people in the audience going, unacceptable, unacceptable, unacceptable. So to be there to take that on. But the reality is they have this perception, which I thought was interesting, that realtors don't want to sell new. And I said, that is absolutely
Crazy.
Complete misconception.
We love selling.
We love selling new.
There's
And
less issues, brand new product.
it's like buying a new car.
Yeah.
So that was a misconception. And I remember talking to one of my friends who, I don't know if she'd want me to put her out there like this, but she's an exec at a builder, and she could not believe I bought a new home. You know, when I bought Reverend Sepulti. And I was like, why couldn't you believe I bought a new home? She's like, I just thought residential agents would buy resales. And I'm like, where does this come from? You know what I mean?
It's a misconception.
Without a doubt. And something that's interesting, and I think this is good for the public to know, and also realtors, in a way, in the last probably 3 years, and I'd love to see the numbers on this. I was actually talking to Brian Gordon at Applied Analysis about this, right? I'd love to see the rate of appreciation on new homes versus the rate of appreciation on resales in the same segment of the market in the last couple of years. Because I would be willing to bet that the rate of appreciation on the new homes, and I don't think it's going to stay like this, but in the last couple of years was higher than the rate of resales. Now in the next couple of years, I think it's going to be the other way around.
Right.
I think the rate of appreciation on the resales is going to go faster, because I think that the new homes have hit a threshold.
What I'll say about new homes is there's certain buyers that want them, and they will never buy a resale. But if you compare it, you've done a little analogy with the car. When you drive the car off the lot, you lose money at first.
You do.
Well, if the market took a step down, the first one to lose the biggest money is a new home.
True.
So
But there's a caveat to that. The dated inventory. That's one of the reasons why I believe new homes have been seeing such appreciation.
I agree.
Because the inventory is ugly.
I agree, but if we took a 10% dip in the market right now, who would get hurt the most?
The ugly houses and the new homes.
You're not getting away from that. We buy ugly houses.
No, because in the old days, people were willing, they had the cash, and they were willing to put the money into the houses to make it look updated. We had that 10-year gap of no new homes.
Are you buying a contractor's business without me?
I mean, I should. If for you flippers out there, I see why you're flipping, because there's room. You just make that thing look somewhat nice.
I agree. I'm giving you a hard time.
It's good. Okay, let's jump into. So we had a great meeting. I'm actually going to join the group. I think they're a good group, and I'd love to help out in any way I can.
I think you bring a good rationale to what is happening in the real estate world of work.
And
fantasy.
I was at, and I'm going to jump into this. I'm in this CEO founders group. It's called Vistage, and they have speakers every month. And this guy made just such a great point. He said, the context of a situation is so much more important than the content. And you think about it, we're giving content right now, and that's great, but the perspective and how we're delivering it, the contextual part of it, is so much more important.
Contextual.
You like that?
Ooh.
You like that,
Somebody's reading.
Come on. What I'm saying is, the content of these stats is nothing without the perspective of what they need. And how I'm bringing this full circle is, there's so much miscommunication and assumptions with just the content, but if you're sitting in the room with the builders and sitting in the room with all of these groups, then you can get better perspective. That's all.
Totally true.
Okay.
Communication also will give you that.
Got a little itch. All right. So let's jump right into, you think you're doing enough, but you're not. And this applies to all, we're going to be talking about real estate, but this applies to everything. So I was talking to Angie about one of her listings the other day, and she was like, well, what else can I do? Because she was doing some stuff, and I love my wife. She's always, every single day, she's like, what can I do to sell, buy a house? She's always adding ton of value. But I came up with like 10 things that could be done immediately, right? And I do that with myself. Losing weight or having a relationship, like even with my kids, right? Every single night I lay with them, I sing them a song, we watch a video, we talk about perspective. And some people will be like, you do a ton, but that's not enough. So Ella's been saying, another lesson from Ella, she wants time alone with us, right? Lola and Pure Lola could give two shits, right? She'd get the fingers in her mouth, she's like, whatever, right? So we finally started this daddy-daughter, mother-daughter date last night. So I took Ella out, and Angie took Lola out.
2 different dates, remember. When those kids, you're gonna have 2 different dates.
Yeah, well, no, it's gonna be, you wanna talk about content versus context? That's your kids, right? So, some people will be like, I'm doing enough. I already love my kids. I'm already there for them. But no, it's not enough. There's always more you can do in life. And I think that applies to real estate more than anything. Mm-hmm. Because so many people think that they're entitled and real estate's just going to work for them. And they don't work.
No. It's a job. And you have to do the job well to succeed well.
So, you know Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule? So the 80-20 rule is something like this. Like 20% of the agents make 80% of the money, right? 80% of the agents make the remaining 20% of the money, or do 20% of the business.
Not that way in our company, but...
No, believe it or not, we break through Pareto's. We're like 25-30. Because we have a lot of great agents. And
we have a lot of agents that are... In real estate, you tend to talk about, oh, this person makes so much money, and this person's making no money, and there's a ton of people in the middle that are making great money, and we have a lot of them.
Like 30 to 35% of our company will make over $100,000 this year. Right. I mean, that's unheard of, because what the real, and we have a whole nother Facebook Live for our 500 initiative that we're going to be rolling out. The real Pareto's law in this industry is 93-7.
I know.
Which means 7% of the agents do 93% of the money and do 93% of the business. 93% of the agents do 7% of the business. So if you don't think that you're going to get a different experience with one realtor versus another, you're out of your mind. And that's fair to say, right? But the irony is that the 93% that aren't doing all the business doesn't mean that they're not good agents, because a lot of them are great agents.
It doesn't mean that they're not doing some business either.
But what a lot of them aren't doing
is the marketing.
The extra work.
A lot of them, what I notice is they're not doing the marketing to get the extra business. Not that they're not capable of it, but they're not doing whatever that plethora of things are to get it done.
I have a saying. You could be a part-time agent, but you must be a full-time realtor. Right? Because a lot of people get into this business with they're doing another job. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to be, I'm going to start writing. I won't write right now. If you're going to be a part-time agent, you better not be a part-time realtor. Does that make sense?
I just keep singing part-time
lover. Here's what I mean. What I mean is, for instance, you. Let's use you as an example. When you got into real estate in 1977, the year I was born, you were a full-time what? Firefighter who commuted from Long Island to
New
Queens.
York City.
Right?
Yes.
Once every, 3-4 days, right?
Yep.
24-hour shift. Then you became a realtor.
Yep.
Did your clients get less service because you also were a fireman?
Well, let's talk intelligently. I worked every 24/72 off,
So you work 24 hours straight, and I got 72 off.
3 days. But because I was gone those 24 hours, I did a partnership. And I'm not a partnership type guy. I like working on my own. But I had what's called a backup partner in Stephanie.
Stephanie Shine.
And when I couldn't make it, now understand there were no cell phones then, so I had to be on the firehouse phone, calling to the office or calling to the client and hope I'm not getting a fire. So I had a backup plan to cover those 24 hours when I was in the firehouse.
But you still knew all the listing books, you still did all the knowledge, you took the classes, you had a mentor with Bernie. Remember Bernie?
Yep.
God, that took
Weekend
us back.
at Bernie's.
Remember? And Bernie and Ed.
Yeah.
Crazy. You have friends in pure Dave Tina fashion. You were friends with everyone in the office. You were learning off of them. So now it's easy. Really, there's no excuse. If you're at a company that you're getting all the training through video, or you can come in and watch it, there's so much information now. There's no excuse not to be a full-time realtor, but you got to work like you have 2 full-time jobs. You got to be willing to hustle, right? So the irony is that some of the agents in that 7% that make the 93% of the money have side gigs that actually do other work. Now that doesn't last forever, because if you're doing that much work, you become a full-time realtor.
They want the money of real estate, yes.
But what's interesting is that our agents that do 20, 30, 40, 80, 120 transactions work harder than the ones that aren't doing the business.
I agree.
And they're more concerned about their next transaction, which is so crazy. Because if anybody can kind of mail it in or just glide into the end of the year, it could be them, because they already had great years. But they're like so conditioned to put in the work in the compound that, I mean, let's just use Azim and Sarah, Faith, Doug, Denise, Jim, David. There's so many of Ben, Angela, Teresa. I mean, I could go on and on. They're working like 60-hour weeks and crushing it. And what the whole point is that I hate hearing, I say Doug and there he is. I hate hearing that, like, I can't get business going because they're not willing to work. And I want to be
some people, I think, are willing to work and have to learn how to work. You know, the newbies.
Okay, so if you were brand new, not brand new, if you were hustling, even if you went old school, would you have an activity to produce income every single day?
Yes.
So you would be what? You'd be on the phone calling people that you know.
Only my sphere. I don't like cold
I'm not talking about cold calling. I'm talking about your sphere, right? You'd be involved in multiple different groups because that's just the nature of who you are.
I'd be doing at least 2 open houses a week.
2 open houses. You would be having marketing plans. You would be learning. Maybe you wouldn't be doing social media yourself. Maybe you would be
Paying someone,
recruiting a friend's kid or something, right? That's like who you are. But you'd always be doing an activity that's producing something, right? Rather than doing the one activity that doesn't produce anything, and that's bitch and complain, right?
Yeah, that doesn't give you a result.
No, it doesn't do anything. So my whole point is, you think you're doing enough, but you're not doing enough, right? And I tell this story, and I can't belabor this enough. There was a guy that we heard speak at Inman, and he was a retired military guy. And
They like doing that, retired
he
military.
was such a disciplined guy that I told you this. He set up his office in open houses and did like 30 hours a week of open houses. And lo and behold, he had 36 transactions in his first year of real estate. And the business is all around you. And this applies to every area of life. You do it, like, even when, you know what I'm doing when I'm losing weight right now? I'm like trying to get little things here and there. So I sneak 200 calories out of a meal. And what am I eating? 200 more calories? No. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna wipe away 200 calories there. I'm gonna wipe away 200 calories there. I'm gonna run a little bit more here. Like, so I'm compounding little wins that over a long period of time make a difference. Same thing with business. A little bit of business here, a little bit of business there, a little bit more work there, and it compounds over time because you could always do more. With the kids, I'm investing a little bit more time here, a little bit more time there, teaching them. So my relationship with them compounds over time. So what I'm saying is, no matter how hard you think you're working, no matter how much you think you're doing, you could always be doing more.
Agreed.
As that's all your take. All right, so we're 50 minutes in, so I am going to dump the J curve conversation for today. I'm going to make that a making sense comment. Let's have a little fun.
Okay.
All right.
Whenever he says that, it's like a test for me. I just have
Not.
to
So
A, B, C, D.
let's talk about, this book is so good. All right, so we're going to talk about the Bella Fagora lifestyle, the Italian lifestyle. So her whole point is she was eating bread every day, gelato, the whole nine, pasta,
Sounds like fun.
and losing weight. Because the Italians, they do it right. The pasta is on. So anyway, and she was eating a ton of extra virgin olive oil. 4 things of extra virgin olive oils. All right. This is probably the most important thing of everything. Seek out your community. And I think we do that here. This is going to be a plug, and I don't give... seek out your community. I think that we're in one of the loneliest times in the history of our planet, because we're so plugged into this, we're not plugged into this, right? So I think one of our big differences with what you and I have created here is that I hate using the word community, but we are personalized and real, and you're part of something. So seek out your community. The Italians are better than this at anybody. Remember in Italy, they're all talking, and there's none of this at dinner, right, with the phones or anything.
No, everybody's in. Like, I asked directions in Rome last year to 2 people. By the time it was done, there were 15 people around me giving me directions.
And everyone's BSing.
Everyone is involved, yes.
And there are studies that people live longer in Greece and Italy because they're part of a community. Now it's so easy to not have to rely on other people. You know what I started back? I had Brian and Lana over the other day. We started Sunday dinner again.
Nice.
Just remember Henry and Elaine's? How many people were over there Sunday dinner?
25.
25, open door. Seek a community. Real estate is lonely. You could easily be on an island if you're not doing any business. Connect. Be a part of something. I believe
But that's why we have classes that you could actually come and touch someone and cry and laugh and discuss your business of what's working.
And that's why we're talking to people even
Right.
through this, right? That's why we have the lunches, and that's why we have a physical space. No knock on the company out there that has no physical space. Companies. But you got nowhere to live. You got no one to connect with. You got no place. Community is so important. Again, the Italian way is the way to live. So they say it right here. Don't be fooled by the remote connection offered by social media. Couple other things. Seek connection. Return calls. Reply to text and emails. Be reliable. Slow down, which is so counterintuitive for our world. You know, there was a saying in this book that the more you slow down, the sharper you get. And I thought that was so interesting because me and you are a lot alike, right? Danny too. Boom, 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 fast.
I think there's time to smell the roses, where you're going fast and then you back down and you appreciate and see what's going on.
It's like my Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, as we were doing the video, Rebecca Bray standing there and Bernadette making faces at me, trying to get me to laugh. And then they're laughing hysterical about what they're doing. And that's part of enjoy whatever you're doing, while you're doing. So I nicely gave them a grimace to laugh. And We need to enjoy the moment. You know, a lot of people will come in a transaction and they'll go, that damn agent and they make it adversarial. They make the buy-sell adversarial. And so do buyers and sellers. The house is going to close. All four of us, agent, buyer, seller, we all want one goal, to get it closed.
Yeah, buyer
And
wants
if
to
we
buy,
work
seller sell.
all as partners rather than that adversarial, I'm not doing this and all that, boy, what a better transaction and what a better world we'd be in.
Brian Buffini has a great saying. It goes something along the lines of like, this is driving me nuts. Something along the lines of, the more something becomes the issue, the closer you should get to a person. So, for instance, like, if a deal's falling apart or a conversation is getting misinterpreted, you got to get closer.
Right.
So, closer would be maybe an email is better than a text, and a phone call is better than an email, and meeting person to person is better than a phone call, right?
The example of that, the hardest deal you had, when the agents were done, we'd say to each other, wow, we got it done. We need to go out and have a drink over this.
Yeah.
We need to have a cup of coffee and meet each other. That little bit of the old way that I think is maybe circling around again. And we used to say, wow, we did it. We did it as a team. Not in the same company, but still as a team.
And even and this is not just real estate, but even with your clients, you know, you can't look at them as commissions. You know what I mean? You can't look as people as profits. Like, you gotta slow down to the point. Like, that's what we're about here, that quality over quantity. I rather help 40 or 50 clients and connect with them than help 100 and just make it a through. You know what I mean? And that's, I think.
And the realtors that do make it a factory tend not to get repeat business.
You're right. If they turn off the, they buy a lot of leads and it's boom, boom, boom. And, you know, there's something that I call like the circle. And I believe that when you're doing real estate or anything in life with work, for people that you like your friends and who are the people that become your friends, right? Then you're having a parties, like we call them appreciation parties, but they become just regular parties because you're inviting the people who now become your friends. So it's like having a party with your friends. And then from the money you're making, you start contributing to something you believe in, like a charity or a church or something that really speaks to you. So you're having more parties.
Like Azim and Sarah.
Azim and Sarah are amazing.
Building houses right now. They're with their children building.
Doug is great with this, with Make a Wish.
Mexico.
I mean,
oh my God.
So then you're doing something that gives you growth and contribution, and then it doesn't even become work, because now it's a circle and it's all feeding each other. That thing you do every day, you're doing it with people you love, you're making money, you're helping people that you care about in your job, you're helping other people through charity, and then you're getting more referrals from the people that you love already, and you have this wonderful circle that just keeps feeding itself, and you have purpose and life coming through with what you do. I think that's the goal, right?
It's a beautiful goal.
If you hit 500 million, would you still be on here right now? Did you hit the 500 million?
No.
You didn't hit it?
I didn't hit it.
I'd still be doing it.
It's the biggest one ever coming up.
Oh, no one hit it.
No one hit it.
And that's the key. You know, we'll leave it on that. What would you do if you hit the lottery? Because you got to write this down. And what you'll find, you don't have to tell me, but what you'll find is you know when I knew we needed to open Urban Nest? I was living in Texas and I played the lottery every day. Okay? And I said, if I hit this 300 million, I want to go open a real estate company. That's when I knew that even if I had more money than I'd ever spent, I needed to do this. What would you do if you hit 500 million?
Probably upgrade a few things, but
Yeah.
maybe get a personal chef.
I agree.
Personal trainer that was there, buy a house with a gym in it, but come to work every day.
So, what you need to do is get a personal chef.
Mm.
You need to get a gym, have the trainer come. You could do all this. You see how there's gifts in what you would do?
Oh, so you just trapped me.
I didn't trap you. What I'm saying is a lot of the things that we would do if we thought we had all the money in the world, we could do right now. That's all.
So I should take a week off and get plastic surgery?
Yes.
Make my
Go
life.
for it.
Hi, Dave Tita.
Think about
53.
that. There's a gift in that. All right,
Yes.
we're going to call it 59 minutes on the top. If you guys watch it all the way through, we appreciate it. You don't have to. If you find value, share it. We love doing this. We love that you watch, and hope you get a little insight, a little peek into the craziness of the David Julius and David Ronald world right there at the Nest.
You told my name, Ronald.
David Ronald. Next week, is it next week, Bern? Do we have it next week? We're going to try to have our whole leadership team on here with George Papora and our newest addition, the incomparable Jennifer Hill. Is it going? Bernadette's coming in.
Yeah, we should have one scheduled, but you'll have to have it early because you'll have your past presidents committee.
The past president's
I
committee.
thought they canceled that.
They canceled it. We're on.
Oh, we're on then. Normal time.
She doesn't know our email, Pops. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for showing. See you soon.